Hello and welcome to Unleashing the Power Women Voices event by Women Thrive. My name is Ramona Jan and I'll be your co-host for today's show. And my lovely Abigail, Rebecca, is my co-host as well. Hi Abigail, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited for this one. I can't believe this is such a monumental showcase because this is going to be the last one before we do the summit next month. So I'm really, really excited for this and excited to see all the speakers that are going to be on.
Yes, of course. Today we have a great lineup of speakers ready for you, ladies. So if you are joining this live or watching this on replay, make sure you leave a comment in the chat. Let us know where you're joining from. And today you are going to meet 10 amazing women from Women Thrive Summit. That is our annual women empowerment event of the year. And this year we have nearly 50 amazing speakers from all around the world. Today's AM showcase. We're spotlighting women mainly from Australia and also European time zones. I think one or two our American friends might be waking up super early to be here. So a lot of the ladies have put in some work to be here. All we ask you as our audience, one, is to participate in the chat, leave a comment, let us know where you're watching from. And if you're engaging with somebody, please let them know that you're enjoying their talk. Number two, make sure you share this. So share this to your social media right now and let other people discover it, because we're always working against algorithm. And as we know, it doesn't always favor a really important subject and conversation. So please make sure you share this right now with your social media audience. If we haven't met yet, my name is Ramona Jan and I'm the founder of Women Thrive Media. We host our annual summit, events, retreats. Also, we publish our incredible magazine, which happens every month in print. Yes, we got multiple copies here. I am so proud of this magazine because every month when I receive it in the post, I get to read these incredible women's stories and have those conversations that otherwise we would not be able to have. And when we started out with this vision, the whole purpose of Women Thrive was to always spotlight women's voices, spotlight women's stories, because a lot of times media, and especially mainstream media, doesn't take the time to celebrate and acknowledge the hard work that a lot of female entrepreneurs have put in behind their vision. So this is our mission today at Women Thrive Media, is to spotlight as many women as possible who are doing incredible work, creating movements, maybe curating communities, standing for what they believe in, and have powerful stories to share. So if you want to be part of Women Thrive community, the best way to do it is join the summit. My co-host has been amazing throughout this entire year because she's been here to support me whilst I went on to maternity and, have not always been able to time keep. I'm the worst timekeeper and she's the best timekeeper.
Yeah.
Each speaker will have 5 minutes to present today. Abigail, what are you excited? What do you think we've got lined up for today?
Well, first of all, can I just say there's no good or bad? There just is. I am so excited to hear what our speakers are talking about today. And look, as you've just mentioned, this has been a whole journey. We started this process nearly a year ago. So our wonderful speakers have had this time to not only fine tune and fine hone their presentation skills and their messaging, but also to really build deep relationships with one another. And that's what I really, really love about this event, because when you come and watch our fantastic speakers, like you said, over 50 speakers next month in March for the Women Thrive Summit, you are going to be witnessing a sisterhood of women who have decided that they don't want to build their business on their own, that they do want to be in community and they do want to support one another. And Ramonda, one of your big mission statements for Women Thrive as the founder of Women Thrive is collaboration over competition. And you will certainly see this. So what you don't see, of course, is behind the scenes. What you don't see is all of our speakers supporting one another and cheering one another on and really holding space for one another. But I think that you'll get a sense of that energy-wise when you watch everyone on our stage today. So I'm really excited to listen to the talks today.
Yeah, I think we're going to have some really great ones. One, because this is not the first time most of the speakers are on a showcase, and so they know what it's like. But two, they have been preparing, as I say, for almost an entire year to be on this platform on our stage. And truly, what they radiate is passion and purpose. And every time when we interview speakers, there's one question we ask, and there's always a similar answer. And the question is, what do you want to get out of this journey? Being on the Women Thrive community, in the community from this journey, because it's important to us that we support our speakers equally as they support the platform. And 90% of the time, I want to make an impact. It is the impact that counts. I want to touch somebody's life. I want to share my message. And that is why this stage is so powerful, because women are truly passionate about what they have to share. This is not just a business. This is not just, something that they're trying to monetize. This is actually their life's purpose, their mission, their work that they do day in and day out. And even if they weren't paid to do this, they would still be doing the work that they're doing. So I know that today's work and today's messages are going to be coming through really, really strong. I'm really proud of it. As I was saying actually yesterday on the call, as I'm starting to think that a summit is coming up so close, I'm getting really emotional. And I'm getting emotional because I can see their transformation, and I can see what's just around the corner, which is our summit, and the impact that they are going to make, and the opportunity for us to witness these speakers in their powerful moment. And I just want to say to our audience, don't miss that moment. Not only because it's so special to see somebody in their special moment, but also this is a truly transformational platform. I promise you, even if you attend one talk, that talk is going to be for you and it's going to start to transform your life. So today we're going to plant some seeds of motivation, inspiration, pour into you through our speakers. And I promise you, this is going to be a lot of fun. So I can't wait to get started. Abigail, you always have a nugget of inspiration before we begin. Every time we start our calls, Abigail always brings like the best wisdom for the day. So I'm sure you have something up your sleeves today. And even if not, we're going to put you on the spot.
What I would say is, if you have come across this, whether you follow Women Thrive, whether you're part of the community, maybe you're one of our past speakers or authors, or maybe you've just come across this by accident, remember, it's not an accident. There are no coincidences in this life. So I suggest that you sit back and you relax and you listen and you watch our inspirational speakers, because there is going to be a key message that is going to be majorly significant in your life, in your business, in your personal development, in your mindset, in your involvement in community or self-love. There's going to be a message that is really going to hit home, and there is a reason that you've come across us. So welcome. And as Ramonda said before, please be active in the comments. We'd love to know where you're tuning in from. We'd love your questions. We'd love to hear your aha moments when our speakers are speaking. If you give us energy, we'll give you that energy back. And enjoy the event and come join us. Come sign up for the summit. It's completely free of charge to join, to listen, and to connect in with these wonderful women that you're going to hear from today.
Yeah, amazing. Well, how about we just kick it off?
Should we go? Do you want me to start?
Yeah, let's go.
Amazing. Well, as I said before, welcome everyone, and please make sure that you are supporting our speakers in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. This is a two-way thing, so we'd love to have your energy, your comments, your aha moments in the comments. I am very, very excited to introduce our first speaker to you today. So we were talking backstage before we went live, and I was like, Angelina, you're the first speaker of our last showcase, our last AM showcase before the summit. So I'm really excited that she's here on the stage, a very, very inspirational woman, and you will see why. She is a very valued member of our community. So Angelina Badri doesn't just motivate, she disrupts. She's a global human performance strategist and founder of Universal Safety Wellness. And Angelina works with leaders and complex industries worldwide to reveal the invisible patterns shaping behavior under pressure. Through lived experience and her empowered human methodology, she shows people how to break autopilot, challenge their defaults, and operate from alignment, clarity, and choice when it matters most. Angelina helps people stop performing from pressure and start leading as their most empowered selves. Angelina, welcome. It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, I am going to hand over the screen to you, and then we will have a chat when you finish.
Perfect. Thank you. So great to be here. Hello, everyone. I love having these conversations because this is where we actually create a ripple effect of change. And so I want to start off by asking you, when you think of high-performing organizations or workplaces, what do you think about? Because I know previously, and maybe still to today, people think it's got to do with workplace culture or maturity of an organization, the structure and systems that they may have in place. But too often, what isn't actually realized is the importance of understanding the human operating system that goes hand in hand with the organizational system. And so I tend to get brought into many different organizations around the world to really go and deep dive into their organization. Because although these organizations can have the systems, the protocols, they sometimes hit a roadblock. And then they question, why is it that we're underperforming? Why is it that I have people in place, teams in place, and yet there seems to be ineffective outcomes? And so I recently went on a large high-risk work site, and I was asked to do a bit of a deep dive. And so I went onto location and I just went to observe, because one of the important things we need to do is start recognizing patterns. And many times these patterns are unseen by those who go in autopilot. And so I want to share with you an example of unseen patterns, but the importance of understanding where our power comes from within an organization and how we can truly utilize mirror moments that you're given to change the dynamics of how you respond and react. And so I went into this organization and I observed a weekly meeting. Very common, right? You go into a boardroom-like environment. The manager kicks off with a priority of the week, what are we focusing on, and then opens the forum to people around the table, their team members, to talk about their subject matter expertise, what are they working on, what are their priorities. And so the conversations were very normal, common, items in terms of what are we focusing on. And as each individual went by, I was just observing the body language, the mannerisms, the responsiveness. And as each individual finished and then moved on to the next, I noticed this one interaction. As one of the team members started to speak about their focus area, the manager, rightly so, added a little bit more context for the whole team to better understand. And instantly, when that manager interjected, that individual's body language just changed. The eye contact went down, the shoulders moved in. And to me, that was an indicator. Something had just occurred by that mannerism of that manager speaking and getting involved in the conversation. And so they finished their weekly meeting and out we went. I went into the office that I was sitting in, and that manager came out seeking for some feedback. And I always say there's so much power in seeking to understand without judgment. And so I asked the question. I said, I made an observation when you were doing your roundtable discussion that individual whole body language responded in an interesting way. What is underlying or what is occurring in this team? And it was interesting because this manager was oblivious, totally didn't see the indicators, didn't notice or recognize the changes of behavior. And so to that individual, the performance, the team dynamics was very normal. And so off they went. And a few minutes later, interestingly, that individual who responded in that manner came into my room and started to then share openly how they were triggered by that, how the whole conversation then just went and really it made them escalate from feeling like nothing to just being triggered. And so when I had this conversation, I discovered, and it was evident that we as human beings carry our experiences with us from every work environment, from every engagement and interaction in life. We take with us these little indicators. And so what had happened with that engagement, they had unfortunately had a really bad interaction on a previous work site with a previous manager in a different company. And that whole past experience had stayed with them. And so they related it to that interaction. And so the things that I talk about in terms of truly disrupting that autopilot default that we tend to fall into is giving people the ability to really see these moments as mirror moments, to recognize if I suddenly feel something within me, to question, to feel into that. What am I feeling? Why is that coming up? What's the story that's actually, repeating in my head? And how do I then identify a different story to enable me to take back my power to react differently? Because one thing I've noticed as someone who has worked in all different high-risk environments, from a refinery, on a construction site, on a drill rig, that it doesn't necessarily matter the environments you're in if you don't deal with your responsiveness. And so in my speech on the 19th, I'm going to be going deeper into talking about your human operating system and how you can utilize these mirror moments within your workplace to help you to become more empowered so that things don't trigger you. You take ownership of how you are able to respond and react so that you can lead differently. You can lead with more power and lead more like you so that you can take control of situations and not feel that your environment is the only dictator of how you can control how you feel. So I really want to encourage you and invite you to come along to the summit and go more into digging into the story behind your patterning, behind the default that you've created to potentially survive some of those unwritten rules in your workplace.
Angelina, thank you so much. Oh, there's a bit of a background echo of your voice behind. I'm not sure, do you have us up on another screen or something like that?
No, I haven't changed you.
Okay, wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. One of the things that's really struck me about you as we have got to know you throughout this process, and of course, you're one of the we were talking about this the other day, weren't we? I think you were actually the first speaker to join us for this round. So you've been with us for nearly a year, and we recently recorded a podcast interview together for the Women Thrive podcast. And one of the things that I said to you on that is that I love your work and I love your methodology and bringing the humanness into situations and environments that might not necessarily accept something like that. So first and foremost, you are literally saving lives because you are helping others to work safely and to communicate. But this point that you made here about the mirror moments, very often we can be triggered, we can feel fear or feel uncomfortable or feel really annoyed or agitated about something. And then very often the reaction to that is like brush it aside or bury it or move on or work harder, like kind of suffocate it. But I love that you're having these conversations around bringing it to the surface and then alchemizing that into a lesson, into a gift. How do you see the future for leadership, especially, bringing this humanistic side into it? The softer skills. I always say it like this, right? Soft skills. It's so important.
I agree. I'm excited, to be honest, about the future because I remember, early on in my career, I always talked about the holistic aspect of people You know, our mental, our emotional, and physical well-being are all connected. And one of the things that I'm recognizing globally in the high-risk industries that I work in is the acceptance that there is this aspect of the human component that is the center point of where success is driven from. And there's also an acknowledgement, though, that there's a lot of unknown around how to manage that. Right? When I think about even a lot of organizations I go into and I engage with different people in different leadership roles, and I'm having that curiosity of their skills or their interaction, communication, and you can see where they struggle. But unfortunately, there's also this big realization that there isn't much support in terms of people that take these career step change. How do you become a leader if you're not given the ability to be supported, to be coached? I often ask people, do you actually know what good looks like? And you can get varied responses from that based on their exposure to what they've experienced or how they might have been managed. So I tend to then see two different groups. There are some people that then step into the management role and thinking of it's the old way of now I'm the manager and I'm going to lead with a hard stick, versus those that open-handedly say our power and strength is through the collective. How do we work together and how do we go on a journey where we can empower each other? So I'm very excited that the conversations that I've been privy to are ones where there's more curiosity around, well, what does this mean? You know, human behavior, and 100% agree with you. People talk about human soft skills. How do we teach someone how to have, you know, emotional intelligence? As I mentioned with my example in the room, sitting there, you may be able to see it clear as day when someone responds to you in a way. And to me, that's an invitation to say, oh, did I say something that may have offended you? Or what's that response? And so I'm excited about the future. I think we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, we are. I was recorded a video yesterday and was talking about, you know, using our intuition and our inner knowing and using our bodies to make decisions as opposed to our heads, because we're so conditioned to make decisions with our heads. But actually, when we can be more in tune with our bodies and really listen to our bodies, we can use our bodies as a decision-making tool. And I was like, can you imagine sitting in a boardroom and going, hang on a minute, let me just listen to my spleen. What's my spleen say? Yeah, my spleen says yes, let's do it. You'd be crazy. You'd be like, you'd be off the board.
I love it, but it's so true and it's so valuable. And the reason why I'm like smiling, laughing is because I actually recently did that when I was on a site, but in a different context, because they were having a meeting. Basically, when the 2 weeks on shift leave and the others come, they get together and talk about what are we focusing on. And it was interesting because, like you said, I talk about safety intuition within a high risk environment, right? Your gut feel like, oh, something's not right. And so I noticed that there was a lot of heaviness. Like I'm big on feeling energy. And so I was like, ooh, there's a lot of tension in this room, or it's heavy and I can feel it in my gut. What's going on around here? And although at first people were kind of laughing, they're like, yeah, well, actually, you're right. It's heavy because, and it gave the opportunity for them to open up. So I think if we can be courageous enough to disrupt, once again, the common ways people think we need to communicate, then we are able to really connect deeper and allow people to recognize that we see them, we feel them, we can feel them. And it's an energetic exchange as well. So I always say, lean into that little, something that my shoulder hurts, or did you do something? There's a lot of power in that.
I truly believe that these are the conversations that we're going to be having in the future, all right, in this new paradigm. And how amazing that we have leaders like you to lead that movement, to introduce different people to different concepts and to start to voice that, and to start, you know, the more that we talk about things, the more that they're perceived as normal, you know, normal leadership skills, normal conversations. And I love that you're challenging it head on. Every time I look at you, I just imagine you taking off the hard, it's always like taking off the hard hat. I'm like, she's got her hard hat, she's going to take it off, and then she's going to have a conversation about leadership, empowerment, and being able to communicate effectively. And fantastic that these are transferable skills that anyone in our audience on the summit today, on our showcase today, but also in the summit next month, can also bring into their business. So could you remind us again about what you're going to be speaking about when you doing your talk next month on the summit?
Absolutely. So what I'm going to talk about is kind of continuing on today's conversation. It's about leading differently. actually knowing and understanding how you can own your power in those different work environments so that you can lead differently and understand the actual model of how you can communicate, connect, and empower other individuals, irrespective of the role that you play in an organization, to actually feel connected, feel inspired, and to really influence change in a positive way.
And where can people find you? Where do you hang out online? Where can people follow you?
So I'm pretty active on LinkedIn if you look up Angelina Badri, and you can also find me on my company website, universalsafetywellness.com.
Wonderful. So if you're live streaming on LinkedIn at the moment and watching is on LinkedIn, then please make sure that you go and connect with Angelina. Angelina, thank you so much. It's so wonderful to have you on our stage today. And thank you so much for starting our speaker showcase with a bang. So that was Angelina Badri. Please make sure that you go ahead and you follow her and you connect in with her. And we would love to know in the comments. So many of you that's watching us now. I'm live streaming to my LinkedIn and my Facebook, and I've noticed that so many people are watching. So we'd really love to know in the comments what really stood out for you, what events are showing up for you. Maybe this is a time for you to really be able to just stop a minute and pause and just think, okay, what's showing up for me? You know, Angelina there was talking about the mirrors. You know, very often situations or people can be a mirror for us and they can reflect back on us. And always remember that however triggered you feel, then this is a really moment of learning. And always look for the moments of learning in your life. They can be very small and very insignificant to begin with, but actually they can create an incredible transformation if you are prepared to dive in and dig a little bit deeper. So we are going to be moving on to Ramonda's back on stage. I was going to say we're going to move on to our next speaker, but we're going to move on to the fabulous Ramonda.
I couldn't help but come in because I heard Angelina speak and I was like, oh, I have something right here. So Angelina was featured in September issue of the Women Thrive magazine, and what a powerhouse. Honestly, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Angelina because the work that she's doing right now in empowering women, also in, you know, being a woman in a male dominated industry is not an easy thing. And to be a champion and a cheerleader in this industry, we all should be super, super proud and also celebrate more women who are paving the way in industries that are probably hard to get into, and also to maintain leadership. So Angelina, just wanted to say congrats, and you're an absolute powerhouse, and I could not help but come on in and crash your party right now.
I love that cover so much. I remember seeing the proof of that cover and I was like, oh my goodness, the colors, just the way that you're posing, Angelina, and the color, the green and the purple, like the green of the power and the money, and the purple of the richness and the royalty. It's just so lovely. It makes me want to go and eat some chocolate.
I know. For me as well, you know, this is one of my favorite covers of this year. Everything just pops about it. And also, of course, the topic in itself, and this is what we truly stand for, to celebrate women who are often, again, overlooked by media, mainstream media, and other publications that we don't always get to see. Women who are doing important work behind the scenes, featured at the forefront. So I just want to make sure we spotlight that.
Thanks, Ramonda. It's good to see you.
I might keep crashing in because I've got something else actually before we come on to the next speaker.
Yes.
And it's her beautiful book, but I'll let you go introduce her and I'll come back at the end. Or do you want me to introduce her?
Yeah, you introduce her. Yeah, because you've got her book. That's amazing.
I'm excited. I started reading this book. So this has come in a post just on the weekend, actually. And if we're talking about hard hats, this lady has not only become famous for her phenomenal book, Step Into Your Spotlight, she has worked for more than 30 years in the TV industry. And now her latest claim to fame has been the ownership of many hats, which you will find out about why. So, our next speaker is Annette Williams, who is a cognitive behavior hypnotherapist, an author, and a former BBC TV exec. Now she helps women unblock their confidence, overcome fear, and say yes to the life they actually want. The founder of Silverbrook Hypnotherapy and author of Step Into Your Spotlight, Annette believes you're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience. Annette, welcome.
Hello, thank you for that fabulous introduction. I love that.
I'm just waiting for the hats to start coming out, and
Not today, not today. Maybe for the summit. Watch this space.
yes. Well, the reason why are we talking about the hats, by the way, so our audience get into the joke.
Yes, if you might wonder if Ray and I have gone off on a bit of a wild one. But before in the countdown to launching my book, I wanted to make some content to let people know that it was available. And the way I thought I would do that is I'd record a number of 14 countdown videos to release every day. But I had a limited amount of time in which to record those videos. So I thought, I haven't got time to change my outfit every time. I know, I'll just change my hat. So that if people are spooling through, they might spot a video and go, oh, I didn't see Annette in a cycle helmet, or I didn't see Annette wearing a big ski hat. So I haven't seen this video. So yeah, and it caught on. People ask me a lot about my hat collection, and it turns out I have got quite a few of them.
Yes, well, I think there's few that I've missed, so I need to go back and watch it. But in the meantime, I want to give a big shout out because this book has become a bestseller, and rightly so, because it's truly a phenomenal book that draws from your experience in the TV industry, but also as a hypnotherapist and, someone who really helps people with confidence. And if you are looking to either step into a spotlight, go on to speak on stages, or just use your voice in more diverse ways, this is the book to grab. Annette, I will put a spotlight on you now, and I'll be back at the end to chit chat.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Annette Williams, the confidence hypnotherapist, and now finally a published author. And I'm the founder of Silverbrook Hypnotherapy. And today I'd like to talk to you about growth. Now, not the obvious kind of growth, where you attend a course and you get a certificate at the end and possibly some letters after your name. But the kind of growth we only recognize once we come out the other side of it. Because growth can be sneaky. It doesn't usually tap you on the shoulder and let you know, excuse me, just to let you know you're expanding. No, more often than not, it just feels like effort. Now, an obvious example of this has been my journey with the Women Thrive Summit. Now, I applied to be a speaker back in April, May last year, and I was delighted to be selected and officially on board by June. But at that point, I barely knew anyone. I'd only just met Ray and Abigail, and I certainly didn't know the other 40 plus incredible speakers who are now part of the summit. So it felt exciting. But if I'm honest, a little daunting. But I said yes. So let's fast forward now to right now. It's February 2026 and the summit is next month. And now those women are no longer strangers. They're friends, they're collaborators, and women who inspire me daily to grow. And when I look back to last summer, I can clearly see the growth in my skill set, my knowledge, my confidence, and my understanding. But here's the interesting part. I didn't feel myself growing at the time. I was simply showing up and trying my best. And it's only now with hindsight that I can see that stretch, see how much I've grown. So let me give you another example. When I was little, I genuinely believed that my mum and dad knew everything. To be fair, they did know quite a lot. My mum was a doctor, she spoke multiple languages, she was a brilliant cook, she could sew, she could knit. Honestly, slightly like Superwoman. And my dad was a brilliant engineer, an inventor, and an entertainer. They were both well-travelled and they had a real appetite to learn. And crucially for this story, remember that this was before the internet. So if you had a question and you weren't at school, you basically had two options. One, ask an adult, in my case, my parents. Or two, Face that intimidating row of encyclopedias on the bookshelf and hope to God you pick the right volume that might have the answer to your question. So naturally, I assumed by the time I got to their age that I would know everything too. So fast forward several decades later, I got there, and I did not. However, I do have skills and knowledge that are uniquely mine, experience shaped by my career, my choices and my challenges. And now the roles are reversed. My daughter Chelsea sometimes comes to me with her questions. Of course, usually after she's consulted Google, Snapchat, and some random influencer on TikTok. And I try to give her the best answer I can. Now, I know I don't have all the answers, but I have perspective, and I can appreciate how much I've grown. And I see the same pattern with my clients, because they often come to me feeling completely stuck, trapped in their issue and convinced they cannot move forward. Because when you're inside that fear, you have no perspective. You can't see the wood for the trees. So I often see their growth before they do. I had a client recently who'd been through a painful relationship breakup. For months, she couldn't ever imagine dating again. The thought of it was just too overwhelming and scary. So we worked together on rebuilding her confidence and calming her anxiety. And one day in a session, she said to me, "You know what, Annette? I think I'm ready." She was ready to start dating again. Not because she suddenly felt fearless, but because she recognized she was stronger than she had been. And that's growth. Just a simple recognition of how far she'd come. And it's light bulb moments like those, which is why I love what I do. Because we so often underestimate how much we know, how much experience we have, what we've accumulated, how capable we've become. And sometimes we just simply need someone to hold up a mirror or perhaps shine a spotlight for us to get a different perspective. And that's what I'll be exploring further at my talk at the Women Thrive Summit 2026. It's called Unmute Yourself. It's never too late to step into your spotlight. Because remember, growth is not about becoming someone completely different. It's about recognizing and appreciating who you already are. So if you want to keep growing, then please join us. Let's all learn from these extraordinary women, absorb their insight, and then apply it in your own life. And I'm sure that in 6 or 12 months' time, you will look back and realize you were not behind, you were becoming. Thank you for listening.
Wow, Annette, I always love your storytelling, and you certainly shared quite a few stories throughout this process. I'm really excited about your talk in March. How are you feeling now? You've been on this journey with us. Maybe you didn't even know what it entailed, but now we're here. We're only a month away from the summit. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really excited, but the story I told about seeing that growth, I mean, I didn't know what I was letting myself in for. As Abby said, I trusted my spleen, and I knew that it felt right, but I didn't know quite what was involved. But having been on the journey and truly getting to know the women in this community, and with the support and everything, I have grown so much in that time. And that's the thing I want to make people realize and appreciate, that we never stop growing. We can always keep learning. That's why my talk is, it's never too late to step into your spotlight, because there is no expiry date on following your dreams or going after what it is that motivates you. And I mean, I'm a living example of that. And I want people to appreciate that. So I've done that what my experience on Women Thrive is a microcosm of what is possible in the outside world. But I'm so excited. Of course, I have some nerves. Who doesn't? You want to help. I want to help people with what I'm sharing with them. So I want to make sure I get it right. But the process has been a blast, and I feel a stronger, more confident more compassionate person as a result of it, hearing other people's stories that have really left an impression. So I'm just so looking forward to the summit. I'm looking forward to hearing everybody else, and also hoping that what I have to share will benefit and help others.
Yeah, well, we are coming to a culmination for our speakers, but for our audience, this is just the beginning of the journey. So
Yeah.
if you're watching this right now, you get a little preview, a sneak peek of what you're going to experience at the Women Thrive Summit, which is our annual event. So make sure you save your free spot, and Annette will be there. And, your journey and story is really inspirational for someone who have been in a very long career to then pivot into something you're truly passionate about. And now, doing things like launching your book and speaking and just doing this incredible work. Honestly, it is so inspirational, and it really goes to show that it's never, ever too late to write a new narrative, write a new story for yourself, take up something that you've never tried before. And we've observed you and witnessed you behind the scenes of preparation of your book, and just navigating some first things that you've never done before, and it's just been amazing. So congratulations, Annette, you're a true inspiration.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for all of your support, and to the wider women, and the inspiration I get from attending these showcases and just listening to the stories of the other women. It opens your mind and your heart to a whole different world. And I encourage as many people to take this opportunity to do it.
Yeah, just participate, be there. And, I love the way you describe confidence. It's a muscle, it's going to grow, and you have to show up at the edge of that comfort zone and just go for it. And you never know what you can learn. Thank you, Annette. Great to see you. And we look forward to seeing you at the summit in March.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was Annette Williams. If you haven't got her book, Step Into the Spotlight, you got to get it. It's on Amazon now. It is a bestseller. So do make sure you grab your copy. Excited. A lot of our speakers are authors, and they've written some wonderful, wonderful books. And when you register for the summit, you'll get access to a summit handbook. And there we're going to have a bookshelf of all the books available of the speakers. So definitely check it out. Should we bring my co-host on to introduce our next speaker? What do you think, Abigail?
I was just getting ready with my hat.
Oh,
yeah. I was like, I could only find this one. I've got some really great festival hats as well in it, and I don't know where they are because I've just moved. So here we are.
Well, I tell you what, if you're coming to the summit, what you have to do is make sure you bring a hat, and you will be able to come on camera and show it off during Annette's talk. So we're going to remind you, if you sign up for the summit, we're going to remind you to bring a hat. Annette is speaking on day 1, and she's speaker number 2. So make sure you're there with your hat. Okay. Thanks, Abigail, for that prompt.
I love a hat parade day. Thanks so much, Ramonda. Okay, we are moving on to our next fabulous speaker. We are staying in the UK. We are flitting all around the world at the moment, by the way, but we are staying in the UK. So I would love to invite onto the stage the fabulous Savannah Madden. She's a confidence coach for women in business. She helps female entrepreneurs reclaim their voice, strengthen their self-belief, and step into their CEO identity so they can grow their income and lead with clarity and courage. Known for her warm, empowering style, Savannah blends a lived experience, simple strategy, and deep mindset work to create lasting transformation in the women she works with. Savannah, welcome.
Thank you, Abigail. It's so good to see you.
Oh, I love your pink outfit. I know it's going to be a great talk. Over to you, and I'll come on and we can have a chat afterwards.
Thank you so much. So, hi, everybody. It is so great to be here. As Abigail said, I'm Savannah Madden, and I'm a confidence coach for women in business, helping female founders step into that next level. You're probably on the brink of growth, and you just need a little bit of an extra boost with that confidence to take your next step into your next level. So I want to ask you, imagine feeling confident in every part of your business. Not louder, not busier, please no, just clearer. Clear in your decisions, clear in your leadership, and clear in who you might be becoming next. Most of the women I work with are not beginners. You are ready. You are established, already credible, already doing meaningful work. And there is often a moment where what used to feel straightforward becomes more layered, not because you're less capable, but because the level you are operating at has changed. And confidence at this stage is not about fixing anything. It is about reconnecting with clarity. Because confidence grows when you trust your own direction once again. So today, I want to give you a small exercise that you can do with me right now if you feel comfortable. So wherever you are, place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. And just take one really steady breath in and exhale. And I just want you to think of one decision in your business that has been sitting in the background recently. Not the biggest one, just something that feels present. Maybe it's been niggling or bothering you. And first, I want you to notice what happens in your body when you think about it. Maybe your shoulders tense up slightly. Maybe you lean forward. Maybe you lean back. Maybe nothing changes at all. There isn't anything that you need to do here. Just notice. And now ask yourself one simple question. What do I already know to be true here? Not what you should do, not what someone else would do, just what you know. And just let an answer arrive, even if it's only one word. And now just take it one step further and think to yourself, if I just trusted that answer just 10% more, what would shift? Maybe it's a conversation you would have. Maybe it's a boundary that you would hold, or perhaps it would be simply the way you speak about your work. Take one more breath in and breathe out. And in that moment of certainty is where confidence begins to rebuild, not by pushing harder, but through confidence, certainty, and clarity. And you are returning to your values, your identity, and your voice. And if this resonates with you, then I would love to invite you to my full session at the Women Thrive Summit. My talk is called How I Rebuilt My Confidence and Found My Voice Again. And I will be speaking at 10 a.m. UK time on Tuesday, the 17th of March. And inside that session, I will take you deeper into simple, grounded ways to grow your confidence in a strong, steady, and sustainable way as your business evolves. And you can also find me on Instagram. I'm at I am Savannah Madden, and I absolutely love connecting with other business owners in my DMs over there. So please reach out. I love chatting to people, and thank you so much for being here.
Oh, Savannah, thank you so much. Thank you for taking us through that beautiful, beautiful exercise. It's interesting, isn't it, how very often, we think about confidence. How can I feel more confident? And very often it's about the doing. I need to learn how to be more confident. I need to do this. I need to do that. But actually what you've done today is you've shown us that actually very often it means coming back to us and just really bringing that confidence inside, like letting it come from inside. It's that inner knowing, isn't it?
It really is, because I do always say that confidence isn't something that we're born with. It's something that we can grow. It's like a muscle. I think Annette was alluding to that as well, that we grow it over time. However, we're all in this wonderful business entrepreneurship world. We've all got here by some means, somehow. And so I believe that that means if you've got to a certain point already, you know, you've taken your first step, second step, 10th, 100th step, however long you've been in business for, you've had the courage and the confidence to start your business, to start working, collaborating with other people. So therefore, you've got some confidence in there already, and you've built something brilliant. And my job is to bring that out even more so that other female business owners or other business owners can build that foundation they've already got and evolve it into something even more magic.
Yeah, I love that. I love to the wisdom that you share, and you talk about it in your bio from lived experience. So your background is in performance, isn't it?
It is, yes. So I'm also the CEO of a theatre school, which is an award-winning theatre school. It's doing really, really well. It's absolutely amazing. I've got an incredible team that I work with, and more often than not, I'm working with women who are solopreneurs or very, very small businesses. And that was me just a few years ago. I started off my theatre school. It was just myself, myself and I, coaching lots of young people in predominantly acting, public speaking and singing, but I do come from a dance background as well. And over the years, I've built my amazing team so that they can do all of the running of the business, do all the coaching, and ensure that all the young people are absolutely thriving in their performing arts subjects, whichever ones that they're doing. So yeah, and I've started that business after losing my voice due to having vocal nodules, and that was from overworking, people pleasing, and from some trauma that I experienced as well. And that's why I decided to start my own business, because I was just done really with working for other people and not getting the fulfillment that I thought that I should be getting from the work that I was doing that I absolutely loved. So that's why I started my own theatre school. And as it's grown, I decided to start another business, because why not?
Why not? Congratulations on everything that you've achieved. I mean, you speak about confidence, but that is some real role modeling there about, you know, creating a business and then delegating it and handing it over to a team that I know that you really trust and admire and respect, and then that frees you up to do more things. So we are really very excited to hear you speak on the Women Thrive stage, and also to have you as part of our community. Thank you for saying yes to us and to yourself and going through this wonderful experience. And again, please remind us where we can find you on social media, Savannah.
Yes, of course. And thank you so much for having me, and thank you for accepting me into this amazing community. I've absolutely loved the last couple of months that I've been part of this. However, yes, you can find me on Instagram. That's mainly where I hang out, and I am on there at I am Savannah Madden.
Wonderful. Thank you, Savannah. Thank you for speaking today. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. See you soon.
So we'd love to know in the chat, how are you feeling about all the confidence? A lot of pep talks. We did say at the beginning there was a message for you. Maybe that message is about confidence. Maybe that exercise today has really been what you need. We all need a bit of confidence, however used we are to doing things. So who is ready to zoom away from the UK? We're going to fly over the Atlantic, and we're going to go over to the USA, where it's very, very early in the morning, but our speakers are committed and they are showing up on the stage today. I'm so excited to introduce our next speaker. Anne 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 is a certified Kingdom Life coach, author and creator of the Big Gulp moment framework, a powerful call for women to stop hesitating and start taking the bold, faith-fueled steps that transform their health, wealth, and relationships. She's the author of Retrain Your Brain and Separated, Not Divorced, 2 books equipping women to break old patterns, renew their thinking, and move forward with courage, no matter what season they are in. And welcome to the stage.
Hi, so happy to be here, Abigail.
And what time is it there?
It is 3:58. I know. I look great.
Oh,
I know,
you
my
look-
voice is starting to warm up. It's a little cracky today. I'm sorry.
You're looking great. You're sounding great.
Thank
We're
you.
really excited to hear you speak. Take it away and I'll pop on afterwards and have a little chat with you.
Okay, thanks. Hello, everyone. As Abigail said, I'm Ann Utterback, and I'm here to talk about the big gulp moment when holding on costs more than letting go. And I use my framework, clarity plus courage equals transformation. So we're going to stay on this confidence train this morning, which I find I love how it all flows together. You see, there comes a moment in every woman's life when she realizes holding on is costing more than just letting go. I call that your big gulp moment. It's that deep breath before you say the hard thing, before you release control, before you surrender what you've been trying to force to work. For me, my big gulp moment came after almost a year of separation in my marriage. You see, my husband just decided to move out one day after 22 years of marriage. So we navigated separation for years, and I was fighting, praying, strategizing, trying to fix what I believed would be restored. But here's what I didn't realize. I wasn't fighting for my marriage. I was fighting my own fear. My fear of being a divorced woman and splintering our family. My fear of losing control, as if I really had control of the situation. And that fear was bleeding slowly. And as women, we all know what it feels like to just bleed slowly. It was bleeding my peace. It was bleeding my clarity. And it was bleeding my joy. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do isn't to fight harder, but to stop the bleed. Stopping the bleed isn't quitting. It's pausing long enough to let truth rise above the panic. The moment I surrendered the outcome of my marriage to God, everything shifted. I began living in my reality. I began to set healthy boundaries. I began to see things clearly. And that is when the clarity came rushing in. And clarity always births courage. And courage is not being void of fear, but stepping in regardless of being afraid. That clarity gave me the courage to say, it's time. It's time to surrender. But not from anger, not from revenge, but from peace. And that decision didn't destroy me. It transformed me. So here's what I've learned. Every big gulp moment requires 2 things: clarity and courage. And here's what we don't talk about enough. Before clarity and courage, there's usually exhaustion. There's a slow fading, a loss of zeal, a quiet wondering, where did I go? How did I get here? And I meet women all the time who aren't in traumatic crises. They're just tired, weary, spiritually drained, emotionally numb, going through the motions. They don't need hype. They need to get their zeal back. They need to feel alive again, connected again, certain again. And here's the truth. Your zeal doesn't come back because your circumstances change. It comes back when you stop bleeding energy into the wrong battles. When you surrender outcomes, when you reclaim truth, when you choose obedience in spite of fear, you step into your big gulp moment. And once you take your first step, others began to fall into place. The more I started to release control in this area, the more peace and joy abounded in my life in all other areas. I'm going to go deeper into this talk at the Women Thrive Summit. I'm on March 19th at 1 p.m. I'm going to help you to recognize your big gulp moment, how to stop the internal bleeding, and how clarity and courage work together to create real transformation. Because your next level isn't waiting on better conditions. It's waiting on your next brave breath, your next brave step. And sometimes that brave breath changes everything. So I'm cheering you on as you take the step into your big gulp moment and stop the bleed to get your 𝐤𝐬 back. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anne.
Yeah.
One of the things that really struck me when I first met you, when we first had a conversation about the possibility of you coming on and being a speaker on the Women Thrive Summit, was your personal story and the way that you reflect back on it, you know, and see the gift in that and finding the courage, like you said, the surrender. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to say thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing that, because I know that there'll be so many people in this world that will have either have been through that situation or maybe going through that situation. And you said something here that I wrote down. It's so good. Clarity births courage. Yes. Clarity births courage. Tell us a little bit more about that.
I wasn't clear on what I even wanted and what I desired. And once I got that clarity, almost like choosing myself first, finally, then I had the courage to surrender everything because it didn't matter anymore, because I was clear in what God wanted me to do, clear in my pursuit. And it was like, okay, this doesn't define me. Being married doesn't define me. Being a mom doesn't define me. You know, we put on all these things and it's like, no, I had to just, once that clarity came, and then I had been living, I started to like see the reality of what my relationship really was. I had been in denial for so many years and I didn't realize the toxicity of my marriage. And so once I started to heal and look like within, because when he left, I could have easily blamed him, but it was like, no, I was there too. And so I had to look at me and be like, whoa, girl, like you have been in denial. You don't have it's like rose-colored glasses, you know, everything's wonderful. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And so getting to that space, that clarity, it was like, oh, this is the truth. Now I can step in. It was scary. You know, of course, like I said, courage is stepping into it, even when you're afraid. The fear doesn't just go, whoop, you know. But yeah, once I stepped in, and then, like I said, everything else in my life totally started to line up. And it's been amazing. I mean, I tell people all the time, my life doesn't make sense on paper, but boy, howdy, does it feel so good in my heart. You know, the peace and the joy I have, I'm just like, I wouldn't trade it at all.
It's contagious, Anne.
Oh, good.
It really is. And for you to be able to share your story and your wisdom, your zone of genius, the way that you help your clients, the way that you run your business, you know, early doors, no, regardless of what time of day it is, it's wonderful to have you here. So Anne, please, can you remind us again where we can find you? Where can we find you on socials and connect in with you?
Yes, I'm mainly, I'm most active on Facebook, and it's Anne Utterback. You can find me on Facebook. So yeah, that's the best place. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we are very excited to have you speak at the Women Thrive Summit, And thank you so much for coming on and speaking on the AM showcase this morning. Hopefully you can have a little bit of a nap this afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. Thank you so much, Anne. So that was Anne 𝐸𝐸𝑡𝐢𝐵𝑎NK. Please make sure that you go and follow her. She is one of the amazing speakers that are going to be speaking on the Women Thrive Summit, which is going to be happening very, very soon. It's only a few weeks away. And if you have been inspired by our speakers today, which I'm sure that you have this golden opportunity to be able to come and join us and not only watch our wonderful speakers, but also to be able to build relationships and connections with the amazing Women Thrive community who are going to be there. We've just put the link in the comments now, so hopefully you should be able to go over there, click on that link, and that will take you to a page where you have the opportunity to join for free. So remember, this is going to be 5 days of incredible talks from women all around the world, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different cultures, different ages, different stages in their business, different stages in their speaking career, all coming together to share their message with you, to inspire you, but not only to inspire you, also to ensure that you have tangible takeaways. You can literally go on and watch our talks on our summit and walk away with steps that you can put into place right now and make a significant impact in your life and in your business. So we are so excited for you to come and join us. We're busy preparing behind the scenes. The Women Thrives team are coming together. The speakers are coming together. And if you know anyone that would really benefit from this, then please send it to them as well. You know, if you were to pay for this as an online course, as a program, you'd be paying thousands and thousands of dollars and pounds and euros for the expertise that our speakers will bring to the stage. But we want to give this to you completely free of charge. All that we ask of you is to come on and be involved and connecting with our speakers and cheer them on. So I'm not sure if Ramonda wants to come back. We've got a couple of minutes before our next speaker, but welcome, Ramonda.
Oh, so good, so good. Speakers today are really giving it. They're all knowing this is our last showcase before the event, and what a great lineup, ladies. You're really crushing it. I know some of you have been waking up early or staying up late, so well done, well done. March is really always quite a special time because we celebrate Women's History Month and Women's International Day, and this year is, of course, coming around as well. But I always find that in March we want to speak up more about the things that we're passionate about, things that are really important to us. And today, actually, I'm finalizing our special edition of the Women Thrive magazine. And there are some really, really great stories in our magazine this month. But as I go through them, and I wrote an article for this month as well, to talk about where we are right now and how important it is for us to be speaking our truth, sharing our stories, being in a collective like that. Because when we don't speak our truth, what it is that we minimize the importance of our stories or of our impact. And perhaps you may not be able to see the impact today, but the truth is somebody's always watching, whether it is your daughter, your colleague, your friend, your audience. And the minute we say, will anybody care? Is it important enough? Or how will people see me? That's when we really minimize the impact that we could be having. So I want to really celebrate through this showcase and our upcoming month, the women who are keep stepping forward to share their story and to advocate for things that are important. And if you look over the last year specifically, women's rights have been rolled back. our autonomy for our bodies, our ability to advocate ourselves, to take part in politics, to take part in legislation, to take part in medical decisions. Everywhere you look, the women's voices are trying to be silenced. So with that in mind, I want to call on to our audience to say, it doesn't matter whether you believe that you hold a position of leadership or power. It doesn't matter whether you believe that anybody is listening or not. Silence is complicity. And this is not the time to be complicit in this moment in time that we're in. And I think this message is just important to speak about, because we can talk about many things, the confidence, the empowerment, the business, the success. But unless we all have the ability to speak up, to have platforms, to have freedom of choice for ourselves, for our bodies, the truth is, we don't know what the next 100 years will look like. Okay? So this is why this space is important. Every space where women come together is important right now, more important than it has ever been. And at the beginning of this year, I thought, should we be still doing the summit? Because, things have gone back to real in-person events. And then we started to interview our speakers, and I started to see the fire in them. I started to hear their conversations. I started to hear what they wanted from this year. And I reminded myself that, you know what? This year, more than ever, we have to continue doing what we're doing. This summit started in 2020 in the midst of pandemic, and we're not about to stop. So if you're watching this right now, this is just the beginning of your journey to be part of that conversation, to be in the rooms where incredible women are having conversations about things that are very, very important, significant, and timely right now. So I invite you to not only save your spot, but share with another woman and let her know that this is imperative. We cannot be complicit right now, and we have to speak up and tie our hands together to create a movement. So that's what I want to come on and share today. This is so important that my legs are actually shaking saying it, because this is how important it is. I want to stand here today to say, we're here to advocate. You can be an advocate. You don't know who's watching. Use your platform, use your voice. And if you don't have the confidence or belief, borrow ours, come into our space, listen, be part of this conversation that women are having, and know how important it is for our future generations. So that's all.
Thank you. Yeah, such an important message and a foundation for that really Women Thrive stands on. Yeah. So are you ready for our next speaker?
Yeah, let's go. I'm really excited to see who we have next.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and introduce her then. Here we go. So I'd love to invite onto stage our next speaker. Lisa Tyndall is a wealth alchemist, an embodiment mentor, and the voice behind Sovereign Femme, guiding women into the internal capacity required to hold power, prosperity, leadership, and a life aligned with their deepest truth. Her work moves beyond mindset and strategy into identity oh no, I can never say that word. I'm so sorry. Let me just start this again. Recalibration. Her work moves beyond mindset and strategy into identity recalibration, nervous system intelligence, and embodied self-trust, restoring self-authority and leadership from the inside out. Welcome, Lisa.
It's a tongue twister, babes. I know. It's like so many words.
You can edit that out.
I'll take it out next time. There you go.
And you know what? Whenever I introduce you, I know it's Tyndall, but I always want to say Tyndall. I'm like, oh, Tyndall.
Actually, I like that. You can say that. It makes me sound fancy.
Lisa, whereabouts in the world are you joining us from?
I'm joining from Australia, Whitsundays.
Amazing. Well, it's wonderful to have you here. I'm going to hand the stage over to you, and then I will come back and we can have a conversation.
Yay! Thanks, gorgeous. Hello, everybody. So I want to talk to you about how unbelievable powerful you are. I am just in awe of the women that are really stepping into the fullest versions of themselves, even when they feel uncomfortable, especially when they feel uncomfortable. I want to talk to you about your reality and how you are the creator. I want you to take a moment just to look around. What do you see? What do you feel? What are your thoughts, your emotions when you're looking around and seeing what you have created? Because everything around you is your creation. You have created it through your thoughts, through your feelings, through your whole inner world, with your words, with your frequency, with your energy, with your belief system. And so when you take a moment to look around and you think, I actually want more. Take a moment to think that you have created what you have right now. So could you imagine if you could create with total intention, with an inner world that reflects what you actually desire externally? Because your world is built through your inner matrix. It's not built through the external measures that you are looking at. You are co-creating with an inner world, with an inner matrix, with an inner being. You are God conscious. You are source. You have a universe. You have everything within you. And when you are co-creating with the external source, God, the universe, the energy, the frequency, your energy and frequency that you're putting out through your emotions, through your feelings, through your thoughts, through your words, when those two are matching, the power of what you can create is unbelievable. I remember 15 years ago, I kept asking myself, I don't understand this world. I don't understand where I'm living. I don't understand who I am. I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I don't even know who that is. I was living so many different characters to fit in. I had my addictive, I had my party girl when I used to get on the drugs. I had my sexual power when I was in my real goddess, because that's how I controlled, because it was the only way I knew how to control men. I had all these different characters. I had the good old friend, the people pleaser. Yeah, whatever you want, I'll do. That way I wouldn't get abandoned, because my dad left when I was born. And so I played all these characters to fit into everybody else's world, everybody else's space, except my own. And when I started delving into, and I stopped and I thought, I mean, when you looked around before, if you stopped and thought, if I created that, can you imagine if I started to move my inner world to one that was mine, my own beliefs, my own thoughts, match the feelings and love and joy and happiness that I actually want to create a life that I've always desired? I can actually create that. You are actually in control, but that control isn't what you think. In our human world, I call it a human world and a soul world. In our human world, we try to understand things. We try to label things. We try to fit into everybody else's perspective. But when we realize that we are actually the ones that get to create how we want everything to land, to be, to feel, to see, then everything shifts. Otherwise, we're just constantly sending mixed messages. Your feelings align your frequency. Your words cast the spells to bring in what you want. Your belief system lays the foundation for what you will receive. Your nervous system. Your nervous system is so important. I call it my tree of life. It allows you to have what you can hold. Your heart, the heart, is the beacon that calls it all in. And I also call it a living room. Like your whole, it's funny, when some of the other speakers were talking about the body. The body is the most important thing that you own. It is your vessel. It is everything that attracts what you desire and who you are. And if your living room, which is what I call the heart, if it's spacious, is it spacious or is it cluttered? Are you living with other people's things other people's belief systems, things that don't belong to you, old identities, or stories you've outgrown years ago? There's no room. There's no room to call in through your heart what you actually desire. Your womb, your gut is the foundation. And the other part of your body, and if your foundation is flooded with emotions, trauma, inherited patterns that you've never cleared, then your house feels really unsafe. I used to believe a beautiful life was not meant for me. I lived in abandonment cycles. I lived in scarcity. I called in deep layers of abuse to affirm my belief system, my old belief system, that life just gets good enough and then it turns to shit. Have you ever stopped and listened to your words? Do you hear the power in what you are saying? Have you ever stopped to listen to that inner voice? Is it reflecting back what you really want, what you really think deep, deep in your soul? Because you are worthy. You are just so powerful with everything you have within you. You know, I remember I made over $1 million online, and I did it the hard way. And I lost it because my belief system was so strong that I rejected what I actually made. And about 5 years ago, I started such a deep healing journey. And I realized it was up to me, just like it's up to you, to break these bullshit generational chains of poverty, survival, abuse. And we're the creators. And when we stop and we take a moment to really dig deep within our world, we can actually shift it. We can change it. We can start rebuilding brick by brick by brick. So our foundation gets so solid that we can build as high as we want in the sky. And that high in the sky is what we've always wanted for us, for our family. So it's really time to stop and think, do I really want to keep living in this creation, this reality that I have created? Or am I ready to break free? And that is why I call it the $1 million inner pathway. Because when your internal world sparkles like $1 million, guess what mirrors on the external? Eventually your external world becomes the space that it is whatever your little heart desires. And you can have it. You can have whatever you want. You just have to get out of your own way first. I am speaking at the summit about the $1 million pathway, all about this inner journey. I would absolutely love to have you join me. And if you're ready to create a life of true prosperity, inner peace, then I invite you to join me.
Hi, Lisa. I'm not sure if here we are. So thank you so much for your wonderful talk. You know what? In the end, I closed my eyes because you froze. Oh, because I felt like I was at church. I was like spiritual. Seriously, it was just absolutely divinely perfect. Lisa, thank you so much for sharing your deep wisdom. It's amazing. It's insane that you were frozen through the whole of your talk, and now I can see you. It was meant to be. One of the things that I did want to say, though, was congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And that is something that I have been working towards creating for so long, and to have it happen was just Oh, it was just so beautiful. It brought me so much joy. It was an honor. It's an absolute honor.
It's just wonderful. Bringing the fire with the zebra print. I'm so glad that we went with this cover. Your article is so inspirational. What's the key message that you wanted to share within the magazine for your cover?
Yeah, if you don't, I know it's a really beautiful. They've done such an amazing job. That publication, they're complete artists, aren't they? The way they just bring it all to life, it's beautiful. I think the biggest message for me within that, and that's when I really delved into the wealth consciousness, was that if you don't heal it, you're going to repeat it. And it's sort of what I just spoke into, if you don't do the inner work, then you're just going to keep living what I always call, like that, the rat on the Ferris wheel, just going round and round and round, doing the same thing every day. And I remember when I was coming out of my drug-infused coma, I was like, you know what? The 2 minute of insanity is doing the same thing every day, expecting a different result, because it's just not going to happen. Yeah. It's just not going to happen. So when we allow ourselves to just, even if you just take those little steps forward and you become really curious about everything you say, everything you do, everything you feel from a real beautiful space of love, then you can start to see the threads on how you're actually moving throughout your life. And you can start changing the way that you speak, the way you show up, the way that you actually, talk to people, how you receive, and all the different magic within it. So, heal it, baby.
Heal it, baby.
Heal it, baby.
The work that you do is so deep and it's so transformational, and we're very honored to have you in our community as a speaker on the Women Thrive Summit next month on our magazine, and also starting a TV show as well.
Yes, I am. The $1 Million in a Pathway. Yes, next month. Yes. You know what? It's actually been, and I know some of the girls have said it, this has actually been completely life-changing for me. This has pushed me to edges that I needed to be pushed. This has built such a beautiful sisterhood community. You and Ramonda, oh my God, you're like just balls of love and knowledge, and you wrap your arms around us, and so does the whole Thrive community of everyone that works with it, right down from the magazine to the people that do the graphics. Everybody is just incredible, and being held in this. If anyone's thinking about doing this, don't think, do it. I mean, it's an incredible experience. I can't thank you guys enough.
Well, it's a real privilege and a joy and an honor to have you in your community and just to have your energy. It's so addictive.
I think I make some of the girls' cheeks go red sometimes with the things I say.
Hey, you were addicted to drugs, Lisa. We're addicted to you.
There you go. Maybe that should be my song.
Yes. A song, please. 100%. Lisa, thank you so much. It's been wonderful to hear you speak today.
Thank you, beautiful.
All right. Thank you so much. Mwah. So that was Lisa Tyndall, or Lisa Tyndall, dependent on how you want to pronounce her name. I like the Tyndall. So we are so excited. Go and you can still go online and check out her magazine. You can order a copy. So amazing. Look at that. Double zebra.
Oh my goodness. Look at this powerhouse. And one of the speakers in our group chat, she said, I know Lisa's camera is frozen, but it's like listening to a really important broadcast right now. And I'm like glued to it. So apologies for the technical challenges there, but definitely great share. So Lisa, thank you so much for being the powerhouse woman that you are. And also next month, Lisa will be launching her TV show on the Women Thrive TV, the $1 Million Pathway. So really excited about featuring her TV show on a platform. Oh, what a lineup, Abigail.
Yeah, so excited about all of our speakers. And you can see from today, a real demonstration of that our speakers come from all around the world. We're so proud of the fact that we have such a diverse community. And you were talking before, Ramonda, about coming together as women and supporting one another. It's so important that we support every one of our amazing community, our amazing sisters all around the world.
Yeah, it's just amazing to see those relationships being built behind the scenes prior to the event. But I know the event will bring it all together, and this is where our audience will get to build those relationships. And we've built in several. There is a daily panel at the event, and there's a daily networking event that's going to be happening. And it's not you don't just tap in to watch, you actually are active participant at this event. So you get to come on camera or audio, ask questions, and really engage in the conversation. So it's a great setup for you to really be an active participant in the event.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I see our next speakers in the green room. I know that our next speaker is definitely going to bring the fire. You recently did a live with her. Would you like to introduce her onto the stage?
Yeah, of course, of course. I was saying to this next speaker that her voice definitely rocks my boat. And every speaker have a signature energy and just a signature vibe to their voice and what they have to share. So sometimes you may feel like, oh my God, this speaker is directly speaking to my heart. Well, 𝐤𝐞𝐬, when she speaks, she definitely lights up my fire. So let's bring our next speaker, who is 𝐤𝐞𝐬 Dent, who's a therapist and transformational mindset expert dedicated to helping women unmask, heal, and step into their most powerful selves. As a founder and CEO of Glow 414 Inc., and the creator of Boss Fly Girl movement, 𝐤𝐞𝐬 has built a reputation for turning pain into purpose and survival into strategy. Her work bridges the clinical insight with real-world transformation, empowering women to break generational cycles and build lives rooted in confidence, clarity, and authenticity. 𝐤𝐞𝐬, good morning, girl.
Hey, Ray. Hey, Ray.
What time it is there?
Right now, it is just hit 5:30 here. I've been up since like 3 because I'm just like, what do you want me to talk about? Like, what is it? Give me the words, remove me out the room. So I've been up for some time. I'm so excited though.
I was gonna say 5:30, but you look like you're ready to drop some bombs right here.
Let's get it, Ray.
Well, I'm gonna hand the mic over to you. I'm gonna be back at the end to have a chat. Whatever comes through you right now, I know this message is for someone. So over to you, my girl.
Thank you. There are things about us women that have shaped us. And a lot of those things are words. And we're not even aware of that. Let me give you an example. Have you ever heard when you were a little girl, be quiet. Stay out of grown folks' business. You're not thin enough. Don't do too much. Stay humble. All of those things, whether it came from your family, whether it came from church, whether it came from school, whether it came from a partner, a friend. But if we're being honest, sometimes those little messages, those little words come from us. So I want you to take a moment and I want you to ask yourself, have I ever heard that before? But more importantly, I want you to ask yourself, do I believe them? The reason why I want you to pause and ask yourself that is because I remember that there was a time that I was not this version of me. There was a time that I believed those words from a little girl and I carried them throughout my life. There was a time that those words formed me to operate in survival mode. And operating in survival mode taught me to operate in fear. And as a trauma expert, I know when we're operating in fear, we're not operating in our prefrontal cortex. And that's just a fancy way of saying we not operating up here. in our executive decision making, that common sense that's just not so common when you're operating in survival mode. See, where I come from, we were not taught about strategies. We're taught to get it how we live. So I learned and I thought and I operated, and I only can operate when my back is against the wall. But then I realized something. Why am I always in a rush? Why do I always got to do things over and over and over and over? I didn't realize that I was operating in a survival hamster wheel. I was just repeating patterns over and over and over and over. They just had different faces. They just had different characters. They just had different situations. They just had different sacrifice, different justifications I would tell myself, different excuses I would tell myself of why I can't. But then I realized that, wait a minute, there's something powerful about learning how to survive when you know how to operate in survival mode. That means your senses are aware. That means that is a strategy for you. So if you are a woman who hear the sound of my voice and the message is falling on deaf ears, I challenge you to meet me at the Women Thrive Summit. I'm speaking on March 19th. And I'm speaking on something not just as a trauma expert, but as a live-through expert, a transformed expert. And I'm growing every day. And that's where I learned my ABC theory, where now I want to teach you about the importance of addiction, behavior, and consequences. I want to teach you that you could be your own worst critic. Sometimes, not sometimes, you know what? All the time, it's you against you. It's if you believe those words. So I know that there's a woman somewhere who is operating in CEO mode, who to the world is perfect, but behind closed doors, you can't seem to figure it out. Behind closed doors, you're tired of being the strong one. Behind closed doors, you are afraid to let the world see really who you are. So if that sounds like you, I dare you. Back where I grew up, 53206, we triple dog dare you. I dare you to meet me at the Women's Summit. I dare you to register now. And I dare you to follow me on all social media platforms as therapist 𝐸𝐭𝐬𝐷 D. I'm going to meet you there. I dare you to meet me back. Thank you.
You're there accepted, 𝐸𝐭𝐬. You're there accepted. I dare you. I told you this woman is on fire. I mean, I don't know. If this is a preview to her talk, I wouldn't be there. Front row. Like, yes, yes. Because you know what comes through when you speak? Your lived experience, your pain, your purpose, your passion. It comes through that you mean what you say because you felt it. You lived through it. You experienced it. You've been in that wheel. You've been spoken the words to be quiet, to stay small. You're not going to amount to something, anything. But you here to tell another woman, listen, this is your time. I will meet you there, wherever you are, and we will do it together. And that's what I know when speakers speak from their heart, from their truth. This is where real transformation starts to happen. You see them. You know, there was a woman on this last year's summit. She said, Ray, I could feel that you just see me. You could see me through the screen. And I know when you're going to be speaking to some of these women at the summit, they're going to feel the same energy. They're going to feel you see them, see the struggles that they've been through. All right, the pain that they have had to carry, the words that they've been spoken upon, and the need for us to be seen in a different light. The need for your mentor. You know, when we did our live recently, you had your community show up for you and say, that's my coach. That's her. Like, that's my woman.
Yeah, my boss mate, BFG gang.
because you've poured into them. You gave them their belief, your belief into them, and they're here showing up for you. Go cry those tears.
Right, you're so right. But yeah, it's like what you said. Like I see them, and it's like being on this other side is like it's scary. When I say the other side, I'm talking about the push through, the awakening, if you will. And there's many awakenings, but that original awakening where you realize, like, wow, society lied to us. Like society really trapped our minds. Like all the things that we used to wonder is like it's a whole nother world. This is really bigger than us. So when you have that and when you understand your calling and your purpose, I then stopped being afraid to be the one to go first. I understood that my assignment meant that they won't understand me because they've never saw it before, but I had to push through. But now I'm like, let me come get y'all. I had to stay rooted. I had to really deal with some ugly demons within me too, if I'm being honest. I really had to look at my ugly villain self sometimes in the mirror and really, really heal so I can learn to speak to their demons, so I can meet them truly where they were and help them realize that this is bigger than us. Society lied to us. So I get emotional when women like you, and not just women, but just spirit servants, see me, because that's like, yep, I'm on the right path. I do have an assignment over my life to let them know society lied. There are some powerful people who come from where I came from, but society tricked us. Society tricked us. So I'm here to be the evidence. This little Black girl can be a doctor. You can too. I can start an organization. You can too. It's bigger than us. So with the knives in my back, I'm going to show them how to take that survival to strategy. We more powerful than we know. So I'm here to let them know, and I'll be the evidence and I will show it. So thank you for this platform. Thank you for allowing us to be us. Because there was a time they told me that my story was shameful. And here you are telling me my story is my victory. So if it's my victory, it's a miracle for another woman. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, pave the way, pave the way. And there are so many women who need us, need to hear it, and need to know there's more out there for them. And there are spaces, safe spaces for them to heal, to be accepted, to be welcomed, to build those bridges. Right. And you're doing that. You're taking international stages, you're building those bridges, and you're not leaving them behind. And I love that you said how to turn your not pain into a strategy, right? How to turn everything that has happened to you into a strategy. Because guess what? If it hasn't killed you and you're still here, you still got a way to go, and you gotta go the whole way, because that's when you gotta go all out. And the strategy part is so important, because a lot of people who have gone through difficult times, you could play the victim, but this is not a time to play the victim. This is a time to play a warrior.
Yeah.
And know that only with having a plan in place, only having a strategy in place, and what is required to succeed, what is required for you to break out of whether it's the mindset or whoever is holding you right back. This is not the time. And that's what I said in the breakout when I came on, that this is our time for women to rise and speak our truth.
It's time. It's time. The time is now. It's time. It's a movement. And we need women. We need the women, the woman power. It's time right now, today, in this moment.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. What day are you speaking on?
March 19th. I am speaking March 19th at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm so excited. Make sure y'all register right now. And if you really jazzy, you might as well get that VIP package, because I got a little something special for you. So yeah.
Oh, girl, where do people find you and connect with you right now?
All right. So you can go to my website, therapistmikhailed.com. And you can also follow me on all social media platforms, therapist_MikhailD.
Amazing. Well, do make sure you go ahead and connect with Mikhail. Drop her a message if this resonated with you. Look, just start a conversation because you never know where one conversation could lead to. But of course, we are going to see Mikhail delivering her powerful talk at the Women Thrive Summit, 19th of March. So make sure you are there live. You can join us free, or you can go ahead and upgrade your ticket and get all the incredible bonuses that our speakers have prepared for you. Mikhail, thank you so much for waking up so early and just being here in your presence and in your power to share this message with our audience.
Thank you for having me.
You're amazing. I'm so proud of our speakers. They light my fire. They speak from their truth, from their experience. They're here to make an impact. And if this event is anything to go by, the summit is going to be impactful. So we hope to see you there. But we're not over yet because we've got 2 more speakers to go today. And hey, come on, let me see you in the chat. Where are you joining from? Make sure you share this event to your social media followers. We had people joining in from different parts of the world. I see us streaming to different platforms. Let us know which platform you're watching on today and support, because we'd love to also see your comments in the chat. Okay, now another amazing speaker from United States who woke up so early to be here today. Thank you to our speakers for doing that. We have another doctor, Dr. 𝐔𝐧𝐥𝐞𝐚𝐬𝐡𝐢𝐧𝐠 who has her PhD in transpersonal psychology. She's an educator and the founder of Your Own University, a global learning platform where cycle breakers finish healing and start living. Many turn their adversity stories into inspiring roadmap for others as coaches, teachers, healers in their certification programs. Her specialty has been helping thousands of people heal from the effects of relational trauma and reclaim their identity. For many childhood survivors, they find themselves there for the first time. And in her courses, she supports so many amazing people. Alicia,
Hi,
good morning.
Good morning. Thanks to you guys for having me on this morning. I was just listening to everybody and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't think this lineup could be more divinely orchestrated this morning. Change your thoughts, change your mind, retrain your nervous system, believe in yourself, know that you can overcome. Yes. And now let's write a book. Let's write about it. That's what I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, Alicia, I will hand over the mic to you and I'll be back at the end to have a little chit chat.
Okay, awesome. Oh, I am so honored to be a part of this community and this group. I think that all of us, as I listen, we had that calling. So if you have this calling inside of you that says, hey, I survived something, or I lived through something, or I have some experience in something, and it shaped you, your life shaped you, prepared you, trained you, then you're not alone. You're not alone. And you can make a career out of it. You can make a life from your story. And I help people rewrite their stories and step into that, because after helping so many people, mainly women, but people, I've worked with men as well, really come back to themselves through the identity method called the Amazing You method, and put the pieces back together after losing themselves, normally to childhood abuse. They would get to the end, right? They'd get to the end and they'd have this sacred nudge that we were talking about. Everyone's been talking about this morning. It's a sacred nudge, right? That says, hey, wake up. You have something bigger to do with this. This wasn't by accident. You're here to turn lemonade into lemons, or lemons into lemonade. It's friggin' 5:30 in the morning, 5:50 in the morning. I'm still waking up. But I want you to answer that whisper. And like, Michaela mentioned here too, I was told when I went through my trainings, you can't talk about that. You can't talk about your story. You can't talk about the abuse. You can't talk about what happened to you. It's going to make people uncomfortable. It was before all of this blew up with the files and everything. And we began to really talk about this horrific things that are happening in childhoods, what so many of us have lived through, have had our nervous system trained as. And instead of focusing on that problem, right, you can focus on the solution, which isn't fixing yourself, because you're not broken. You're alive and you're amazing and you're incredible. You're not broken, right? So if you feel this call, like, oh, I didn't experience any of that, I'm meant for more, I didn't live through that for nothing. It's a calling. It's a calling on your soul. And it's this time. We can talk about it now. You don't have to get your PhD. You don't have to become a therapist of sorts or a doctor of sorts to talk about it and to share from your wisdom of how did you create a new life for yourself, right? The same nervous system that protected you now tries to protect you from visibility, but we're here to heal it. We're here so you don't shrink anymore, right? So you don't overgive and you don't underprice and you don't over prepare or under prepare and get perfectionistic. You don't go out and collect certificates and degrees like I did, right? And you finally say, okay, I give myself permission. I want it right now, just hand on heart, if you would, and just say, I give myself permission to share my story. I give myself permission to be the leader. I give myself permission to be seen. And to be seen is to see yourself. I literally yesterday was going through it and I was like, just kind of battling it out with my fraud, right? You don't, like, who are you to, right? My shrinker inside of me, the little girl inside of me, hair in my mouth, sorry. And I was just thinking and talking to this aspect of myself that just feels like no matter what I do, it doesn't hit. No matter what I do, it's not good enough. And I was just holding her. I mean, like, it doesn't even matter. You're out doing it. You're doing it. You're pushing through. Like Mikkel said, you're pushing through. You're living into this dream, right? And your calling is for your courage. Your wound is not your brand. Your trauma is not your headline in life, right? The leaders that you admire are not building these moments by moments in their suffering. They build moments because they have extracted the wisdom from their life. They've retrained their nervous system. They've learned how to talk to their inner child. They've turned their breakdown into that blueprint, that strategy. And then they get on stages. Then they do things, right? And we go through the phases of rebuilder and finding your message and getting your certifications and finding that confidence inside of you and retraining yourself. And then it's time to build, right? Build your empire, be the architect of your life, starting with your own vessel. And that's what I'm going to be talking about on Women's Thrive, right? Is how we have this circle of clarity, how we can transform not only our lives, but the lives of our families and the lives of other people worldwide, just really depending on your heart. Where do you want to take the power of your story? You know, you survived to build, you survived to lead, you survived to turn your story into something that frees others. And if this is calling to you, this is your sign. This is your morning. I woke up, I got up, and I am not a morning person to tell you, like, this is your time. And you were born for this reason. We're born in this time where we are waking up as a society. We are talking about things. And you can talk about it. You can share about it. And you can share about your breakthrough. And that's what I want to just encourage you to be the architect of your life, to help other people install this power within them. I remember just starting to speak and starting to talk, and the first big stages I talked in 2014, and I was just getting a divorce, and I was talking about childhood stuff, and it was so weird. It was so scary, but I did it anyway. I sucked at first, and I did it anyway. And you can do that too, and be surrounded by a whole bunch of people that are also speaking their truth and telling their story and here to inspire the world, because it's our time to wake up. It's our time to be the creators in our vessels. And yeah, that's what we're all going to be talking about here. Do it anyway. Exactly.
Oh, Alicia, that was so great. Thank you so much. And
You're
thank you for
welcome.
being willing to go there and talk about your story and be vulnerable, because sometimes we see successful women, someone who has achieved, done the work, and it's like, it's easy to forget the things that you've gone through and what brought you here. And today you really showing that there is wisdom in everything that you've gone through, and it can be used as a force of good and impact.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you so much.
Alicia, where do people find you to connect with you?
So yourownuniversity.com. You can go there. There's a quiz there that will, really help you kind of discover what phase is your nervous system at. Are you in the rebuilder phase? Meaning like training your nervous system again. Are you in the messenger phase where you're looking for your message, getting your certifications, getting that confidence underneath you so you know how to do what you're here to do? Or are you in that architect phase, ready to create books or talks or programs and leaning into that, or just your life in general? It doesn't even have to be about coaching. That's just what the business is. So yeah, yourownuniversity.com.
Amazing. And we will see you at the Women Thrive Summit. I'm very excited to have you there.
Yes. March 17th, 7 p.m. And yeah, join for free. And VIP, if you want to VIP, it's going to be amazing. And yeah, I am so excited.
Amazing. Alicia, great to have you here. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your story. And we look forward to having you at the Women Thrive Summit. Thanks for waking up so early.
Thank you.
Oh, this is Alicia Antigua. So do make sure you head over and connect with her on social media. But before we introduce our next speaker, go over to womenthrivesummit.com, register for your spot, and let me know if you have already saved your spot. The speakers that you're meeting today, check out for their talks as well. Put it into your planner. Set the time aside, because it's going to be virtual and live events. So all of these speakers taking a live stage, and you can imagine just the organization that needs to go behind the scenes, being able to host our speakers from all around the world. So it's definitely not a small thing, and we'll look forward to seeing you there for this entire week, 16th to the 20th of March. Ooh, we got one more speaker. Who's ready? I see her ready. She's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, let me introduce our last speaker. I'm very excited to bring her to the stage, because I know what she's sharing today, women definitely need as a building block to success. So today we're inviting Aileen Boyle as the founder and CEO of Photo, a sales and revenue architect known for ripping up the old playbook on how women do sales and revenue generation. She is the person founders call when the numbers don't match the brilliance of their work, when revenue feels wobbly, when they're ready to scale the systems and hold under pressure. Well, hello there, Aileen.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. How are you?
Oh, we're looking forward to hearing your strategies. Well, I'm not sure how much you're going to share on today's session, but I know there's a lot more coming our way during the summit. Aileen, I'll hand over the stage to you, and I'll be back at the end to have a chat.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. So not sure what time it is with you, but I'm based in Scotland. It's 11 a.m. And I'm so excited to be talking here specifically because we've got the Thrive Summit coming up. So I just wanted to share something with you. I had been doing my usual research. You know, we all do it. We want to stay sharp. We want to stay relevant. But as I did it, I was watching out there and I kept seeing this same kind of undercurrent. And it's one I can only describe as a quiet collision of what I call performative behavior and that invisible load that particularly women entrepreneurs carry. And you know what? I recognized it immediately because I've lived that. You know, for years, I felt like that square peg in a round hole in the world of sales and selling. You know what I mean, ladies? You know, I was really good at what I did. Clients respected me. Results did follow. But the way selling was modeled around me, the scripts, the tone, the handle the objections, the always be closing, it never felt natural. And so what did I do? I did what most women do. I adjusted myself. I became slightly louder in meetings. I filled silence instead of letting the silence work. I justified my pricing before anybody got a chance to question. I discounted it. That was the performance side. And then the invisible cognitive load, you know, replaying those conversations in my head over and over again and feeling responsible for every delay and carrying the weight of every maybe. And on the outside, you know, I may look confident, but internally, I was carrying a pressure that nobody could see. That's the collision. Now, I work with women who are exceptionally capable. They're intelligent, they're experienced, their clients respect them. And yet when it comes to sales or selling activity, something feels really heavy for them than it should, heavier than it should. And it's not that things are broken. It's just effort heavy. And so then they start over explaining and then they start, you know, softening what should be a clear recommendation. And they start discounting themselves mentally before the person in front of them even has a chance to do that. And then they maybe finish up with think about it rather than helping the person in front of them make that clear decision. And the decision may be that you don't work together, but it needs to be a clear decision. So what happens then is then your pipeline carries the load, or you feel responsible for momentum. And that is what I call scale versus the strain. And you need to pivot that. Because if your energy is the engine, and energy is everything, you have to bring the energy. But if it's the engine, and if everything depends on how switched on you are, then that's not going to scale. Because what if you're having a bad day? And the strain is subtle and it's exhausting. And it just looks like you and feels like you're never fully exhaling. So that's when the revenue gap widens. And that is when leadership in sales becomes a real strength, because it doesn't chase clarity, it actually designs it. And when that architecture beneath your sales and selling anchors your expertise, your identity, the thing that you bring to your clients that's going to sort them out, you don't need to act. You don't need to persuade. You don't need to become someone else. You simply lead. And that is the lens I'm going to bring to my talk at the Women Thrive Summit. So my talk is called The Revenue Gap Ends Here, Women Leading the Sales Revolution. And I'm going to unpack this very topic of why confidence isn't the issue. Oh my goodness, if you and I had heard for every time we heard that, when someone said, oh, you just need to be more confident, we would all be trillionaires, wouldn't we? Because it's not that, it's a design issue. I was that square peg in a round hole, but when you redesign the hole, there is no square peg. And if you ever watched The Matrix, there is no peg, like there is no spoon. I would love to see you there so that I can share with you how it's going to stop feeling like acting, stop feeling heavy, and start feeling like authority.
Hey, let's fill that revenue gap for our ladies. And I think so many business founders and entrepreneurs can definitely relate to some of those struggles and challenges, and the need for consistency, and you can only do that through processes, especially if you want to scale and grow your business.
Yeah.
That is really fundamental. And but you won't know what you need to do until you really create an architecture from the beginning. And
That's
this is
it.
what you support people to do.
Yeah. And what got you here is not necessarily what's going to get you going forward. And I need to be really clear on that. You know, when you started, what you did then was suitable then. You know, so never dismiss what you've already done. It's just when it starts to feel grinding that's when we need to look at it again.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I know that from experience. When it started to grow and scale, I'm like, okay, this is going to require a lot of new skills, a lot of different mindset as well, like seeing things from a different perspective, and also, you know, creating processes and systems, which wasn't required before you got to that stage. But now, if you want to grow and scale, that is imperative. Otherwise, you won't be able to grow. So is that what you're going to delve in a lot more at the Women Thrive Summits in practice?
Yeah, so I'm going to share with people that are watching what the women that I'm working with are doing, how they're moving away from that feeling of performative selling and sales, what's working for them, and people will be able to take something away that day and be able to implement it that day. You know, we haven't got an awful lot of time to test and try. We want to know what's going to take our business going forward. So that is what I wish for the people who come along and listen. And just get something they can implement straight away.
Yeah, I love what Mikhail said. This is good, Aileen. Emotions can't be the engine if you want to scale.
No, your identity, absolutely. Who you are, what you bring, how you help, definitely. But not the emotions, because like I said, if you're having a bad day, you need something to lean into. We all do, just on a day-to-day basis in our lives. And if you, so why not have that for your business? Just have that framework, have that structure, so that you know what comes next, so you can guide your people to exactly what they need.
Yeah. And I think this goes beyond inspiration. This goes really practical stuff that you can do to make sure that momentum doesn't drop off when you need to take a minute or to pause, or, you know, be a mother or a wife, or you just need a sip of margarita by the beach.
Absolutely. You know, we are all incredibly emotional about our businesses, and why not? We know we're creating a legacy. We know we're changing lives. I'm not saying don't be emotional about your business. You have to. People do buy into that. But in those conversations, the people you're talking to, what they need is guidance and structure, as do you. So, you know.
Where do people connect with you, Aileen?
So I spend an awful lot of time on LinkedIn, so you can find me aileen.boyle.entrepreneur. I have a Facebook page, which is Aileen Boyle Commercial Director. And that is where you will find information about what I'm doing, what I'm up to, and a bit more information about what I'm going to talk about.
Amazing. Great to see you, Aileen. Thanks so much for showing up. And we look forward to seeing you at the Women Thrive Summit in March.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great to have you here. Oh, so this was our final speaker to wrap it up and give you just a last bit of seal to show you what to expect at the Women Thrive Summit. How many of you have saved a spot? And how many of you already upgraded your ticket? Because by upgrading your ticket today, not only you get access to front row seat at the Women Thrive Summit, but you also get to all the digital goodies that our speakers have prepared, worth more than $1,000. And also you get the replay access to all the past summits and their goodie bags too. It is worth so much. So you can already start tapping into the content and all the talks that our previous speakers from past year summits have already shared. So you can already start growing and transforming and consuming the content that is going to truly make an impact in your life and your business. I want to bring back my co-host just to say hello and to help us wrap up today's showcase. Hey.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. That is takeaway quote of the day. All you need is a sick margarita by the beach. You need to put that on socials because I'm there with you. Where is it? Where is it?
I'm gonna have to go and make a post about that. I don't know if I've got pictures to go, so I might have to run down to the beach and to get myself a little alcohol-free margarita since I'm still breastfeeding.
What a wonderful event. I really love the themes and just complemented itself so beautifully. I really, really enjoyed our event this morning. I'm so excited for the summit.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of breakthroughs, and it never fails to amaze me. Just, what happens during the summit like this, and when women do show up and spend the time to hang out in these virtual rooms with our speakers. Suddenly I see comments in the chat, and even after event, I needed to hear this. I'm just feels like this has spoken to my heart. This has really unlocked something for me. So whether you're going to join for one talk, 5 talks, or the entire summit, there is something for you, and I know it's going to transform. You may not even know what you need right now, but just trust your gut, trust your guidance to join at the right time. And I know you're going to find speakers who are going to speak to your heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to have you with us, and the speakers will love it. And let's all get together and create magic and transformation.
Just a reminder, bring a hat. Bring a hat, maybe a margarita, maybe some pom-poms. Hey, we're going to be dancing as well. So just letting you know that every speaker have prepared their theme song before every talk. So we're going to have a bit of fun and move our bodies as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I always love the dance song, favorite bit.
Yeah, and when you register, you already get access to our playlist for the summit, so you can already start getting in the mood and the groove of the summit, a theme for this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Abigail, we'll be back later on today for part 2 of the speaker showcase. So if you're watching this right now, make sure you tap into later event streaming across our Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube at Women Thrive Media. And we look forward to seeing you then. Thanks, Abigail, for being an amazing co-host.
Thank you for being an amazing co-host. Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work, and certainly behind the scenes there's an amazing team at Women Thrive that helps make it all happen. So big shout out to our wonderful team behind the scenes. Shout out to our speakers who were here today to pour into you and deliver their talks, mini talks, because the rest of it you'll get to hear at the Women Thrive Summit. And to all the women who woke up so early to be here, and of course to you ladies who have tuned in to be here, to be present, to celebrate our speakers and leave a comment or share this live. We truly appreciate you. We look forward to seeing you at a later event today, but also make sure you save your spot for the summit. Take care for now. Bye.